Hello, everybody. As usual, you can let me know if my levels are weird. You have not actually been letting me know if my levels are weird, so please do. I've been tweaking things. I think I'm trying out a compressor now, which I may or may not have had on before, but with some weird settings. A compressor on my voice, that is to say, so that it stays equal to what's going on here. Yeah, just in general, trying to make sure that everything looks and sounds good for y'all. So welcome to today's stream. This is the April 22nd stream. Today we are looking at the one and only Airwindows Consolidated plugin. So Airwindows has been around forever. Basically, it's kind of a one-man outfit. The guy's name is Chris. I don't know his last name off the top of my head. I am bad with names under the best of circumstances. I remember Airwindows and I remember Chris, so that's probably the best I can do right now. You can easily look it up. Just FYI, all of his information, all of Airwindows information is to be found in the description here. If you look down in the description, you will see a link to the plugin, which I actually highly recommend while I'm rambling about all this bullshit. If you want to go and grab it and install it, it'll take no time at all. It's a tiny, tiny little install. It's like 35 megabytes or 40 megabytes, something like that. So it'll literally take you 20 seconds to install or download it and maybe a minute and a half to install it. And then you can follow along with me, and won't that be fun? Right now, despite the fact you can't see it, there it is. Now you can see it, right? Yeah, there it is. We got this. Sorry. Why? Don't do it. Don't do me like that. Do me like that. There we go. So this plugin is what's playing right now. This is called a Galactic. It is a reverb. It is 100% wet right now. It is apparently intended for super reverb, designed especially for pads and space ambient. And this is a bass loop playing through it here. That's what's actually playing. It's me playing bass guitar. Very, very skilled. Very skillful player. And that's this is its wetness. So, or 100% wet. This is just the default plugin that comes up when you install the plugin. So that's what's playing right now. And we'll get back to this in just a minute. I did want to just talk about Airwindows in general, and Chris in particular, for just a minute longer. If you just want to make sure, okay, yeah. Hopefully everyone can still hear my voice well enough to understand what I'm saying and whatnot. But yeah, okay, so Airwindows, I'm not going to give you a history lesson because frankly I don't know the history of it. Just the little bit that I do know, it's been around for quite a while. I don't know exactly how long, but long enough that he was making some of these plugins before VSTs were a thing, so I don't know, that's quite a while, I think. I say this, I may be misunderstanding the situation. I say this based on reading the information in the plugins, which, if you look at for example, this Galactic plugin, I'm assuming this text here is being pulled from GitHub, but I don't really know for sure. And it's like, it's interesting. It's every one of these every one of the sort of plugins, because this is sort of a plugin wrapper that has dozens, maybe 100 or more, maybe hundreds. I don't even know how many plugins behind the screen, behind the wrapper. And you can pull each one up with this little menu, this little hamburger menu here. You can see these are all, each one of these has multiples. And this isn't even all of them. This is actually a subset selected by the creator that is called the recommended collection, okay? And then you can see there's a basic collection, a latest collection, favorites, and all plugins. And I don't know if you probably can make collections as well. I have not gotten deep into exploring this, so you'll have to forgive me for, we're exploring it together, I guess is what I'm saying. Hey, Professor, voice is clear, good to hear it. Artist sent, hello to you as well. Can you also hear the rumbling, sort of lo-fi bass noise in the background? Let me know, because if you can't hear that, obviously I need to tweak things. It's relatively quiet, probably, especially compared to my voice, but you should be able to hear something. Here, maybe I can stop it. And now you can see what the difference is. All right, so I stopped that. I'll start it back up in just a second. Yeah, so... Boy, it actually feels a little weird. I'm gonna start it back up. So you guys tell me if you could hear the difference there, if I need to turn it up or down. It should be relatively quiet. It's just kind of a drone in the background right now. Okay, so anyway, yeah, this came out, kinda. Okay, so I should maybe turn it up a little bit, it sounds like. Properties. Just go up to like 5 dB on that. Sounds good. Oh, yeah, it sounds... good. Oh, okay. Well, I turned it up a little bit. If it's now too loud, tell me and I'll turn it down. But okay, so anyway, this plugin setup has been around for quite some time in various different forms. It is now available as this giant consolidated plugin. I say giant; it's very small size-wise. Again, under 40 megabits. There's much more, and we won't hear you. Okay, is it too loud now? I went up by 1.5 decibels, but I could definitely bring it back down to where it was if it's too loud now. Just let me know. I can also speak up. If that's better. But yeah, just let me know and we'll figure it out. I can also stop the drone, but I kind of like it. It's kind of relaxing. Yeah, so this thing has been around for forever. I became aware of it around 2019, I guess it was 2019 when I was first getting back into music. I was big on free plugins at the time. I was trying to avoid spending a bunch of money, which is, based on, I don't know, actually, I think that I have my window so narrow you can't see behind me now, but if you've been following me or are familiar with my work or familiar with me at all, you know that I have, I don't know, I've got a giant modular rig, tons of hardware, I buy plugins when I want them. So it's kind of funny now to think like that I was trying to spend $0 or as close to $0 as possible back in 2019, but I was, and so I was experimenting with a lot of free plugins then. I heard about these then and was like, oh, that's interesting. And I was this close to pulling the trigger on them when I decided to go all hardware, and so I did not pull the trigger on them. And then I got back into, fast forward 5 years, I got back into started getting back into software in the box production, oh, thanks. Yeah, the drone is kind of nice. It's putting me in a little. It's sort of freeing part of my brain to talk a little easier because there's no silence to contend with. I know that maybe doesn't make sense to people who don't have ADHD, but if you have ADHD, I bet you understand exactly what I'm talking about. But okay, so yeah, I was just about to pull the trigger on this back in 2019, and then I went away from software and into hardware, and so I just kind of forgot about it. I got back into hardware in 2024. It was not really on my radar at that point, and it's still at this point. I was trying to use as few extraneous plugins as possible. I've got like 5 synthesizers that I've added to the collection, and I slowly add more. And then I added the Arturia V collection, which was 45 synthesizers. But I've been pretty disciplined on effects until relatively recently, and I'm still fairly disciplined. So around Christmas I bought the that Eventide H3000 plugin that's like a small subset of the H3000 plugins or H3000 algorithms, and I bought that Heimbach plugin last week, and I don't want to click to check. Is there? Yes, there is. I'm actually using the audio unit version. That's what I'm using, is the AU version. It comes in clap, VST3, AU, and I think some other weird version as well. It's very very easy to access. I think that's part of his deal, is like he wants anyone that wants to be able to use this to be able to use it. But yeah, so I was trying to avoid unnecessary plugins. My friend Limnetic Villains, I don't know if he'll join us. He might. If he sees this, he might. I think it's like in the middle of the night where he's at, though, so it might be a little weird. My friend Limnetic Villains, he got on this train like a month or two ago and was really talking it up, and that sort of brought it back to my awareness. I'd sort of forgotten it existed, and I would see the guy's videos on YouTube every once in a while. They would just pop up in my feed, and I had mostly been ignoring them, but Limnetic mentioned it, and then I saw some of his videos, and the other day I watched one, and I was like, holy shit, that's actually really cool. That plugin's really cool. And so I was like, oh man, do I really want to mess with this? I don't know. And I just started watching his content, his videos. Sorry, I hate the word content. Started watching his videos and was like, wow, some of these are actually pretty cool. And then I looked at it and realized that, so part of my concern was I knew there was hundreds of these and that he offered them in a big package, and I didn't want to either take the time to go through all 200 of them or whatever it is and figure out which 5 I really wanted. And I also didn't want to try and figure out based on other people's recommendations which I wanted, and I really didn't want to have 200 random plugins installed in my plugin folder to where I go and open it up and it's just like, I mean, I already have that problem with the Arturia. Like, you open this Arturia folder down here and it's just page after page of synthesizer, right? And like, that's, I know, first world problems, nice problems to have, but I was trying to avoid that. So, but like I said, the other day I was watching one of his videos. I was really taken with one of the plugins, which we will look at today. And so I finally was like, screw it, I'm gonna look at this and see if I can figure out, like, if there's a small installation or something like that. And I looked, and it turns out he has anticipated the problem that I was concerned about, which is that if you have 150 or 75 or whatever the number is of these little single purpose plugins, and mostly these are single purpose, these are not big, like, fancy, we'll go into that a little more later. They're not big, fancy, elaborate effects units. Most of them are single purpose with few or even no controls in some cases. But he realized that, like, having 150 or 200 of these in your plugins folder would be annoying. So he put them all in one package, and it looks like this. It looks like this little window right here. And you can access all these from here. Okay, so that was it, good enough for me. I said, it's free, it's tiny, I'm just going to install it and see what happens. So I did that. I actually just installed this yesterday. Oh yeah, man, for sure. That's one of the things, like, the DAW that figures out, it's a side feature, obviously. You're not going to give up on your DAW because of something like this, but it sure would be a nice feature to be able to completely organize, easily remove, hide, etc. plugins. Ableton has some reasonable tools for it, but it could have some more too. It could have some more. I would love to be able to just like you say, hide things, to create more folders and stick stuff in folders. But I have been doing better about using, if you look on the left here, there's these color-coded things, and these are basically collections. Well, they're not basically, they're exactly collections. That's even what they're called, is collections. They're just collections of different plugins. And so I've got, like, my favorites. These are the, like, just stuff that I think is cool that I use all the time. And then these are ones that I've set up to use with the push. These are sort of core tools that are, like, almost on every track. These are audio racks that I built for sampling and sample mangling, really more to the point. These are sort of setup tools that's special. And then Toolbox is just very uninteresting things like the tuner and spectrum analyzer and utility that I need all the time. They don't go on every track, but like when I want to grab them, throw them on, I want to be able to reach them easily. Okay, back to what we're talking about. Airwindows, yay! Enough talking, let's look at some effects, right? So this is the default effect that comes up, and it's fine. It's cool. It's a really heavy-duty reverb. But we're just going to go through. Let's start with some of my favorites. Okay, so what I've done here is I made a list last night. I went through and checked out basically everything that's in this collection, this recommended collection, and made a list of my favorites, and we'll go through those, and then we'll go through the larger collection time, depending on how much time we have, and go from there. I've got a bunch of different samples of different kinds that I've loaded up, and we're going to try those out in different ones here. So let's try actually, so this is a string loop. So here's some strings, 4 bars of B minor strings. This is actually from a track I wrote years ago. I think it's, these are the chords from Aramaic Inscription off of Haunted Space Objects 2, Catalog 2, I think. Okay, so that's 100% wet. I'll dial this back to like just a huge reverb. And you can see how this, yeah, it's pretty nice, right? Okay, so that's bypass, dry. And I think there's already some reverb on these strings, so that's why it's, try it on this vocal. This is like a treated string thing, little loop. Sounds like that. Interesting, right? Yeah, D minor, it is the saddest key. That's right, you know what's up. Okay, let's get into something. Let's go to my favorites here. So, here's a chamber reverb. I love, real quick, I love artificial reverbs, and I have a particular love, I know it's, maybe it's weird or silly, but I love simulations of artificial reverb. So the chamber reverb, digital chambers are fun for me. So a chamber reverb, if you're not aware, is a deal where they would build a little room in a studio, and you put a speaker on one end of the room and one or more microphones on the other end of the room, and you blast the music into the room, and it reverberates around in the chamber, and then it records with the mic, and that's your effects, right? So it's a literal room made to reverberate is what a chamber is. So it's an early artificial reverb, and a digital chamber is meant to simulate that. So like digital plates, digital chambers, and also emulations of digital reverbs, early digital reverbs are among my favorite reverbs to use, or actual early digital reverbs, because there's something about a simulation of a simulation that I just like. Although I was thinking about it the other day, and you might hear that and think, oh, well, then you should like AI, because that's simulation of a simulation of a, copy of a copy of a copy, but that's bullshit, and I don't like that at all, so I don't know. Alright, so, this is De Toro. This is a filter. Kind of a nice resonant filter. And I could map the, this to a knob if I wanted to. I'm just moving it with the mouse right now. This one caught my ear because, it was, so the first one, chamber reverb, obviously, I told you why I like that. This one caught my ear because I mostly use Ableton's auto filters for these kind of things, obviously, because they're very good and very flexible. But it is nice to have a variant if you just want something different. And this one is a little different. It actually, in some ways, it's got a pretty serious resonance profile that in some ways reminds me of the Q-Pass, so that's kind of cool. So I'll probably be using this at some point. Okay. Oh, we can also, sorry, we don't have to just keep, how about some drums? Well, it's not just drums, it's also, out. Anyway, pretty nice sound and filter, right? Okay, so here's a lo-fi effect. There are a lot of cool lo-fi effects to be found in this collection. Try a drum loop on that. Well, this is not strictly a drum loop, there's also there's some music in it too. And this one's interesting because it seems to have some sort of like spots where the settings interact in such a way to have, like, they're unsweet spots, right? They're just really weird discontinuities. Hey, Swarm, how's it going? Discontinuities in the sort of effect, like I said, anti-sweet spots, rough spots, noise spots. The non-linearity of it's places where the non-linearity of the various things come out. Okay, so a lot of these plugins have this what's very cool wet dry feature. So a typical wet dry, obviously, I'm sure you all know, it's just a mix, right? 100% wet is just the effect, 100% dry is just the signal going into it, essentially bypassing the effect, and anything between that is, you know, the percentage of the effect, 10%, 20%, 30% effect, half effect and half original, whatever it is, right? Okay, so this does that on the right side of the, okay, so to 50, at 50 is dry, right? This is 50.19 or 0.5019, but it's basically dry. So this is essentially, you know, what you get with the bypass, right? I'm turning the bypass on and off. Okay, but then the back half, not all of these are like this. Some of them just have a regular wet dry control, but the ones that have this control, it's an invert / wet control. The back half takes inverts the wet signal and subtracts it, combines it with the other one, and so you get interesting subtractions. And on this one, for example, it's not necessarily doing that much, or it's not super audible. It's not that it's not doing that much, but it's not super audible. But on others, it's more. So it can give you kind of a more subtle effect than just the wet wood or whatever. Gives you some more options. It's interesting. I had never seen anything quite like that before. Sort of a shoegaze guitar intro thing here. Alright, enough of that. Let's check out a different lo-fi effect. This has a more traditional dry wet. Make it sound like an old sampler, whatever, right? So this is a glitch shifter. It is a dual pitch shifter. So you can see this gets pretty transformative pretty quick. You know, with the basic settings. It's a fairly subtle and kind of cool little stereoizer with a little added grit, but as soon as you start moving the trim, things get weird quick. And with something that's not a voice, you can get away with maybe some more extreme settings. Get some flanger effects here. The rhythmic stuff definitely, so you know, it's changing the pitch of the component elements, right? So with rhythmically based material, you're going to hear that as a flange, right? As the two pieces come apart from each other and there's a flam on each hit, you get that kind of flange effect. And then once it goes beyond that, once it goes beyond the flange window, you get just like beats pushing against each other and stuff like that. So you can hear there, it's like dit, 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 dit. This is just a very simple 4-note bass line, right? Turn this on. I love effects like this. This thing, I can tell already, is going to make it into lots of my productions. I don't even know what all I'm going to use this thing for. This glitch shifter specifically. Okay. Enough, I could spend all day on that. Here's a nice saturation effect. Same with this, like on this one I was, obviously I used the, saturation on Ableton all the time on everything. It's just super useful. But it's one of those things where I've never once been like, you know what, I need a different flavor of saturation. I want a different saturator. And I would probably never install a different saturator, but that is the advantage of something like this. I didn't install it for the saturator, but I tried the saturator out, and I think it sounds pretty good. So every once in a while, I might reach for this instead of the Ableton saturator, right? It's just a nice bonus. Let's see what it sounds like on that vocal. Okay, off. Okay, now on. A lot more presence and punch on that, right? Now, this is a distortion effect that is meant to mimic the input of a Mackie 1202 mixer with pre-VLZ input stages. And so this is one that I have actually had, one of these mixers. Did you click on the setting wheel in order to show all the plugins? Here, I can show them all. Well, I can show you all the menus anyway. Let me finish my thought real quick, and then I will do that. Okay, so I used to have a Mackie 1202. I got it for like $20, and then I gave it away to a noise artist who was wanting to do some no-input mixing. It's really good for no-input mixing. But this, I can say, not that I A-B'd it or anything, but I can say with, oh yeah, I've heard that, some degree of assurance that this is actually a pretty reasonable representation of the input filter of a Mackie 1202. So this is a crazy distortion. Check it out. So that can absolutely destroy anything you run into it. Let's try this. This very polite little drum and music loop this is from an old NFL Films record. now that's just something else, right? I can tell you right now, this distortion plugin is going to get some use from me. Okay, so let me show you. I'm in the filter by collection, so let's look at all plugins. Look in here. Okay, so we're going to go through all these just so you can see everything and see how much is actually here. So there's that many ambients. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 20, 25. So there's 25 ambience programs. Looks like about 20 amp sims, 10 or 12 bass, biquads. I don't even know what the hell that is. Brightness, another 24 of those. Clipping, looks like about 8 or 10 of those. Consoles, oh my god. So there's a whole story behind this, and it's probably too much to get into. He's trying to build some console to replace his hardware console, and these are all parts that are leading to that. They're like channel strips, I guess, most of them. It's interesting. It's something to explore later. It looks like we got about 2 or a dozen distortion, maybe 15. Some dithering, if you get into that. So dithering is the use of noise to hide deficiencies in your sampling algorithms. Biquads. Okay, biquads are mathematically perfect EQs. Picture of tomorrow. Thank you very much. That is extremely useful to know, and I appreciate having your expertise on board. So, did you hear all that? Or if you didn't read that, didn't see it, biquads are mathematically perfect EQs. So, he does have, exploring this a little bit, I think I mentioned this before, this little text part over here is, in theory, it's the instructions, but it's also kind of like instructions, dev notes, shower thoughts about it, everything sort of wrapped into one. It's not the most useful thing always. It's at least not for me. Maybe if you are able to read and parse information like this without losing your mind, it's great for you. My ADHD makes it difficult. Like, I like bullet points and very clear things. And if I'm just reading a block of text, I'm very likely, especially when it's like, let me tell you about the history of this. Let me tell you how I developed this. I'm going to throw in some directions while we're doing it. My mind will not digest that properly unless I read it 10 times. So I've had a little bit of trouble with this, but luckily these are mostly very simple, and so it's not been a problem. You just grab the 1 or 2 knobs and turn them, and you figure it out, right? Okay. So distortions, dithers, dynamics. Okay, so dynamics, we've got, these are our compressors and whatnot like that. I was going to say compressors, some gates, and I bet there are also expanders and whatever else in here as well. Looks like there's, again, 3 dozen of those. Effects, so these are more some of the pitch shifting, modulation, etc. effects, although a lot of those are in ambience. Like there's a bunch of choruses in here, for example, stereo chorus, a stereo ensemble. I bet the Star Child is some kind of chorus ensemble. But yeah, so in effects here, a bunch of different, I think doubly is a fake Dolby effect, some high energy, there's an exciter, these boost highs, the glitch shifter we saw, guitar conditioner, triangleizer is a wave shaper. I know, I played with that one a little bit. There's a ring modulator, can't go wrong with the ring modulator, different pitch effects, filters, buttload of filters. How many do you think that is? 5 dozen? 40, 50, 60 filters? I have not played with too many of these. Oh, look, here's the Mackie EQ. Some Kalman filters. So lots of different unusual filters. This gentleman really likes to try unorthodox techniques. So, yes, right. Yeah, that's right. Airwindows is big on mixer film emulation. Like I said, it looks like if you read through all these and watch his site or watch his videos and hear him talk about it, he's working on some sort of master project to replace a hardware console with a software console that he is building. And what a hell of an ambition, man. That's crazy shit. That's very cool. Okay, but anyway, lo-fi effects. You got a dozen, 15, 18 of those. So yeah, and then a bunch of noise creation, reverbs, a lot of reverbs, 2 dozen, maybe. Saturation effects, a dozen or 15 saturation effects, a bunch of stereoizers, maybe 10 or 12, 14 of those. Tape effects, tone color. We're going to come back and look at some of these. It looks like there's about 12 or 15 of these. And then utility. And these are like stuff. There's some pretty handy stuff in here. Like if you want to get a mono signal out, you can do that. If you want to turn your stereo into a mid-side signal, you can do that. Fades, gain, slew, all kind of stuff. The utility stuff, right? Like maybe if you abuse some of these, you can get some weird effects, but probably they're just going to be aimed at just doing straightforward tasks. Hip Crush is a bit crusher EQ. See, there you go. Absolutely love dedicated people that exist in small niches. Yeah, for sure. That's that's I think why I finally made me jump and do this is I watched like, I don't know, a dozen of this guy's videos. I just was letting him run in the background while I was working, in all honesty. Again, ADHD. Sometimes I need a distraction so I can do my job properly. And so I was basically letting this guy, it's like he's sitting behind me at an actual job, telling me a story. It's essentially, that's what it was, while I'm typing away at spreadsheets. And I just let like a dozen of his videos go through and sort of half register what was going on. And I realized at some point, like, this is my kind of dude. Like, this is, like you said, he's got his thing. He's just fucking doing it. He releases one of these a week and integrates them into this bigger package. And that's crazy, right? That's crazy. Okay, so then XYZ filters, and these are filters used using different techniques to create it. And then that's it. And so there's 3 dozen of those, maybe 2 dozen of those. Okay. Yeah, so let's look at actually, here. So let's go and finish up my favorites. There's only one more. Take Care. Oh yeah, this was like a chorus, wasn't it? Let's play the bass through this. And so that's like obviously a bit of a, there's some delay built into that. So yeah, this is definitely, it says it's a lush chorus ensemble universe. And this I would say is one of those that most of these are very very simple effects plugins, 1 or 2 settings, like I said. This one is one of the examples of ones that is not. And there are some of these in here. I have no idea how much because I've only gone through this for like 2 hours last night and then whatever we're doing today. But like this is as complex as any chorus plugin I've ever used, right? It's got built-in delay effects, or I mean, bit crushing effects. I appreciate that you can break the plugin with its own settings. That's my kind of plugin. And as I recall, this one ended up sounding... Get this back to default settings. It's pretty nice on a vocal, right? I mean, it's a bit much. It's not subtle, but it's pretty nice. We're already only 15 minutes from the end of our time together, so I'm going to jump ahead, and I want to show this. This is actually the newest plugin, and this is what this is honestly what convinced me to download this. Is the demo of this, and I was, like I said, I was interested enough in what this guy had going on to be watching his content, watching his videos, and checking them out. Hey, Artist Synth, thank you for coming by. It was great to have you. Sleep tight, my friend. Sleep tight. And if you want to watch the back half of this, whatever you missed, it'll be on VOD. So, okay. So wooden box. Yeah. Right. If this in a plugin host is basically, you could probably just about build a DAW out of it. Yep. That is a good observation. Swarm, definitely true. Okay, so this is actually the plugin that sort of convinced me to check this out. That I was like, okay, that's really neat, and I definitely want to play with that. So this is a plugin. As it looks here, it says it's a miniature reverb for converting DI to acoustic. And basically this simulates a guitar body, is what it does. Roughly, right? And it's meant for, it was created on request. That's the other thing, is a lot of these are requests. So you should follow this guy, maybe become a patron. He does have a Patreon. This is all free, but he'll take your money if you want to share it with him. And request something. If you have an idea for an effect that you want to see, you can always just go and request it, and he might actually make it, which is fucking cool. By the way, I do that too. If there's something you want to see, if there's a video you're like, man, I wish this guy would do a video on turning, using contact mics to make drum sounds, because I bought these stupid contact mics off eBay and I don't know what to do with them, but I bet he does. I do know what to do. I do know how to do that. I know how to make contact mics into percussion sounds. So if that's a video you want to see, you should ask me and I'll make it. Or whatever you have in mind. And if it's not something I know how to do, I'll either say, oh, I don't know how to do that, or I'll go figure it out, and then I'll show you how to do it. Okay, enough of that. Let's check out this cool-ass plugin. It was created, so the idea is you put a dry, direct input electric guitar into this, play with these settings till you get something you like, and it sounds like an acoustic guitar. I don't have a dry input electric guitar signal to test it out on, but the video, if you look in my description and look, there's a link to his channel. It's literally the newest video on his channel as of the time of this going up. This is week of April 22nd. So if you're watching this a year from now, April 22nd, go back to mid-April, end of April of 2026, and you'll find it there. Okay. And his demo shows what it's actually meant to be used for. I have a bunch of other stuff, and we'll start with the simple bass, right? Okay, so that's just bypassed, right? And you can hear how this kind of has a... See how it's a relatively subtle effect, but it gives everything this sort of, it's almost like a reamp effect, really. So here you can hear all the glitches and the weird, it's probably on the wrong warp setting. But boy, that sure smooths over a lot of that, doesn't it? And this one is actually probably worth... There's something I wanted to try over here, and that is... get a operator. And... get like a real simple... We're just going to make a real quick and dirty FM sound. doesn't sound particularly acoustic, right? It sounds pretty synthetic. And then go to the plugins, and we're gonna put this Airwindows plugin on here. Oops, Airwindows on here. Go to Wooden Box. Filter by collection, all plugins, tone color, Wooden Box. And let's just try with the default settings. Right? And maybe if we even get a little bit more, let's change this to that. Actually, let's change it to yeah, that'll do. Or blue, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out which algorithm to use here. Blue, yellow, no, not that one. Yellow, no, not that one. Let's do this one, actually. Okay, so... and then we want, for this, we want noise. But that envelope is going to... envelope be real short. So, yeah, it's basically just an acousticizer for various synth sounds, period. And like I said, I mean, this is a good example, I feel like, because even if you're not really feeling either of these, I think you have to admit that this is a more interesting sound than this. There's just more going on, right? There you go. And so, yeah, so this has 16 basic algorithms and 2 controls for each of those, resonance and depth. So that's a fair amount of depth, but also very simple. You can just kind of work through it and figure out what's going to work. You know, like this one. I think that's, the best one that caught my ear so far, and then we just dial in this what we want it to sound like. Yeah, and that's cool, man. This is very boring. Like, this could not be more boring, right? This is like the most simple little 4-note bass line. I recorded it from the modular. I don't think there's much, if any, modulation going on. It went straight to digital, so there's no tape or anything on it. Very basic. And that's interesting. This is an interesting sound. Again, you might not actually like it. It might not speak to you. You might not be like, hell yeah, I want to use that sound in my thing. But it's hard to believe. Yeah, right. So, Swarm, that is an excellent point. You basically can use this to make a kalimba with. That's a perfect example. Like, you could take little plinky. Oh, actually, holy shit! Thank you for that's a good Thank you for the suggestion that you didn't even realize you made. Hold on, I have a kalimba. It's not a kalimba sound, but it's a comb pluck is what it is. And I just got to pull it out of my user library. User library, presets, instruments, simpler. There we go. What just happened there? No, that's not what I want to do. Okay. Stop. Select this one. Oh, yeah, it doesn't even matter. Okay. So that's just the sound, right? And then we're going to copy this. Copy. Paste it here. Paste. Oh, did I just crash? Ha! Okay, well, I think we found a bug. I did quit unexpectedly. I would like to recover. Thank you. We'll report that. That's fine. Send to Apple. Sorry about that, friends. It looks like it didn't crash OBS at least, so that's something. Yep. There we go. Okay. Report a crash. So it did not like me. Wow. Okay. That's unfortunate. We'll ignore it this time. It doesn't want me to paste this on. It doesn't want to put this on this thing. That's really weird. Maybe I can switch out the device. On this other channel. I'm going to try this one more time. If it crashes it again, we're going to just let off of this. So what if, instead of doing that, I do this? Go presets, instruments, simpler, plugged comb, swap that out. Okay, it accepted that. We'll pull up our Airwindows plugin. It's on Galactic. That's interesting. It did not. All plugins, tone color, wooden box. I should add a favorite to that because it is one of my favorites. Okay. There you go. Yeah. Good call. We just rolled our own kalimba. There we go. We made a kalimba out of a plucked comb and a little wooden box. And we crashed 3 times, and I don't know what was up with that. It really did not want to put an Airwindows on this fucking channel. So I guess maybe it's good that that came up. That can be, excuse me, the hazard of, oh no, you only hear Ableton. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you for the heads up. I should have looked a little closer. Yeah, it looks like it did, in fact, lose Ableton. Let me restart this. Mm, mm, hmm. How? Hmm. There we go. That better? Figured it out. Sorry about that. Thank you for the heads up. God. Uh, yeah, OBS. The mysteries of OBS. It is exciting. I know Ableton, like, I'm not quite certified, Ableton certified trainer, but, like, I'm pretty good in Ableton. I know it pretty well. Um, Sometimes I got to look for something or I forget something it should be pretty straightforward. But then you add OBS to the mixture, and I don't know OBS at all. It's I've only ever used it for this stream. I don't mean this particular instance, obviously, but for streaming this channel basically, and so thus. It sometimes confuses me, and I don't know. There you go. Made a kalimba. We made a kalimba. Thanks to Swarb of Dead Insects. Excellent suggestion. I don't know if you knew you were making a suggestion, but you were. You said kalimba, and I was like, oh. And we could also do some stuff to... we could beef this up with, yeah, go to my core here, and I'm thinking, let's see if we can crash this. Nope. I not that I wanted to crash it, but. So I'm thinking, what if we drive the pluck a little bit? Not bad. I mean, we are getting a little noise in there. The wave shaper. God. Soft clip it. We could also put the saturator after, which might be a little... Now the airiness, you definitely catch even more of the airiness putting the saturator after. Anyway, point being, it's not like you're just stuck with just this. Like if you want to go on this mission kalimba and take a pluck sound and turn it into a realistic kalimba, you can do other things. We could add another reverb at the end or whatever to make it sound like it's in a room, things like that. But yeah, it's it is a blah, blah, sorry, my brain. Our technical difficulties fried my brain. This is just a really cool and handy tool to have. I mean, as you saw, I might crash your browser occasionally. I mean, paid plugins can do that too. I have not had a crash in Ableton for a while. That's my first one in some months. Touch wood. Do I have wood? I don't think any of this is wood. Oh, there we go. My I have a shelf down here that's made of bamboo. That's wood. That counts. Yeah, it's, it's... there's a risk there of plugins causing problems no matter what. Let's see if we can crash this again by adding... Nope, another copy. And this one... I'll add the back to favorites, and we'll do that tone color box. Oh, that's not it. That's not what I wanted to do. Burp. Take care. I want to do this ensemble effect, right? Okay, we want it no more than 50% wet because it's acting as a delay, like a hard delay. Well, that's nice. Now we're into like that color. You guys see those color box kalimbas that have a built-in delay and stuff, and they're like $300 for hardware. Well, did you know you can recreate that by plucking a comb into a microphone, tuning it to C, putting it in a simpler, and then adding 2 free plugins and a core plugin after it? Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Well, we have reached the 1 hour mark. So, any questions before we wrap up? Anything anyone wants to see? Did we want to try and combine some effects? Here, I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's see if we can crash this one more time. Let's put another Airwindows in the middle. And this one this one we will have go to that Mackie distortion, Mackety, and not too hard, but that's pretty nice. All free stuff except for what's built into the synthesizer, or built into the DAW, I should say. So, yeah. So my take on this is I'm very impressed. I am going to continue to dig through this, add to my favorites collection. It's so much to go through. Obviously, I knew when I planned to do this that there was no way we could do more than a cursory. Look through what's available here because there's so much. Professor, thank you. It was so nice to have you. And hope to see you again in the future. And yeah, I'm just wrapping up anyway, so you're not even going to miss anything. But if you wanted to watch the rest of my farewell, you can always log into the VOD. But thank you so much for coming, Professor. And thanks to everyone else who's been here. Yeah, we do live in amazing times in regards to tools available to us. It's too bad everything else is ass. But yeah, I highly recommend if you are on a budget, or if you just like supporting weirdos who do weird things, or even if you're none of those things, even if you're working in a high-end pro studio, and it's probably worth a look to see if one or two of these tools can offer you something that you don't currently have in your, super high-end fab filter, giant plugin collection. There might be some stuff in here that is not represented in even the most high-end plugin collection. If not, that's no worries either. Obviously, I'm not. This is all completely unsponsored. I've never spoken to this gentleman. My history with him, like I said, goes back all of a week or two. Just following his channel and becoming interested in what he's doing. So this is certainly not any kind of paid endorsement or anything like that. This is just me being genuinely enthused about a free tool that's out there. Yeah, for real. Certified weirdos, got to support the other weirdos. I got my certification when I was like 12 years old and never wavered. So pro weirdo. Weirdos together strong. That's right. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming by and checking this out. Ooh. Some pollen or something hit me all of a sudden. I just instant congestion. Sorry about that. Ooh, probably heard my voice change there. It's like a second, third puberty. I don't even know. Thank you all for stopping by. Thanks for watching, hanging out. Share these with people who might be interested. Tell them to come watch the stream. Watch the streams on demand. Whatever makes you happy. If you would like to support the channel, you can do that by liking and subscribing. Obviously, that's the easiest, freest, cheapest way. I do have a Ko-Fi. It's ko-fi.com/etheriver. Come find me on other social media too and follow me. Retweet my stuff, repost my stuff, post it to your social media, talk about me to your friends. etc., etc. All of that is very much appreciated. In the meantime, take care. I will see you all in 1 week for another stream just like this one.